Look around any social space, and you are watching a highly volatile game. We operate in a world where the probing spotlights of human judgment are constantly searching for flaws, evaluating you almost entirely by your surface level appearances. To survive this environment, you need an invisible shield. A carefully crafted reputation acts exactly like this armor, distracting those probing eyes and hiding your actual vulnerabilities from the rest of the room. When you dictate what people focus on, you control how the world perceives your strengths. Instead of constantly proving your worth, your image does the heavy lifting, saving you an immense amount of energy. A robust reputation is a foundational tool for survival. It establishes your authority and handles negotiations long before you even step foot in the room. In the brutal combat of the North African desert during World War II, German General Erwin Rommel proved exactly how physical this psychological weapon can be. He cultivated an aura of such cunning and deceptive maneuvering that it struck terror into anyone who faced him. By the time his forces were severely depleted and British tanks outnumbered his 5-1, the math simply didn't matter. The mere news of his approach caused entire cities to evacuate. You see the exact same mechanic on defense. During China's War of the Three Kingdoms, General Liang found his small garrison hopelessly outmatched by his rival, Sima Yi. So Liang opened the city gates, put on the Taoist robe, and sat entirely alone on the wall playing a lute. Because Liang possessed a pristine, undefeated track record, Sima Yi immediately suspected a trap and ordered his massive army to retreat. Whether you are pressing an attack or making a desperate defensive stand, a formidable image wins the battle before a single weapon is drawn or a word is spoken. To build a reputation from scratch, you have to start narrow. You select one strict, outstanding quality. Maybe it is absolute honesty, ruthless efficiency, or relentless cunning, and make it your entire foundation. Once you establish this trait, you treat it like treasure. You hoard it, protect it strictly, and deliberately introduce it to as many people as possible, watching it spread until it functions as a universal calling card. Giacomo Casanova spent years cultivating an image purely around his powers as a great seducer. The rumors alone did the work for him. Women who heard of his legendary status became immensely curious, naturally gravitating toward him just to discover what made him so successful. Simplicity is your secret advantage here. One clear, defining trait announces your presence, places people under a sort of spell, and effortlessly paves the way for your next move. Eventually, that polished image will face an attack. When enemies attempt to smear your name with slander, your absolute first rule of defense is strict restraint. Never show anger, and never appear desperate. Reacting emotionally to an insult achieves the exact opposite of what you want. It signals to onlookers that the attack actually landed, revealing a deep insecurity beneath your confident exterior. Instead, you take the high road. If you let the enemy's frantic accusations bounce off you without a hint of defensiveness, their claims lose all oxygen and wither. If your standing is already rock solid, you can deploy subtler tactics. You use gentle humor and subtle mockery to belittle your attacker, much like a towering lion toying with a frantic mouse crossing its path. Responding with calm amusement suggests you are entirely unthreatened. It elevates your perceived power, while a desperate counterattack ruins it instantly. Reputation is also an offensive weapon. If your own standing is small, you can successfully attack a much larger rival by slowly planting insidious rumors and sowing doubt. In his early career, P.T. Barnum successfully undermined his main competitor's museum by quietly spreading whispers about a man's financial stability. This forced his rival into a frantic, highly defensive posture that only made the public more suspicious. However, there is a strict rule of restraint when going on the offensive. Consider Thomas Edison's furious response when Nikola Tesla developed the superior alternating current, or AC, electrical system. Edison determined to ruin Tesla's reputation by framing the AC system as a deadly hazard. He captured household pets and electrocuted them in public, and even orchestrated the world's first brutally botched prison execution using AC current. But the horrifying spectacle backfired. The public was disgusted by the cruelty of the demonstrations, and the campaign severely damaged Edison's legacy while barely scratching Tesla's. If you push an attack too viciously, your actions act as a mirror. You end up exposing your own malice rather than revealing your opponent's flaws. So what happens when you miscalculate and your reputation becomes stained beyond your ability to repair it? You use a strategy called whitewashing. You artificially elevate your image by forming a close public association with someone who possesses the exact pristine qualities you lack. When Barnum needed to erase a long history of promoting vulgar entertainment, he didn't try to argue his case. Instead, he sponsored an American tour for Jenny Lind, a highly respected European singer. He effectively borrowed her high-class aura to scrub his own name clean. We see the same pattern with the industrial robber barons of 19th century America. Men like J.P. Morgan amassed massive wealth, but they were permanently branded by their cruel, mean-spirited business practices. To soften that cold image, these magnates aggressively bought up legendary fine art. By securing masterpieces from painters like Da Vinci and Rembrandt, they permanently linked their ruthless maims to high culture and immortal beauty. Your reputation takes decades of careful strategy to forge, yet it can be shattered by a single emotional mistake. It is the most powerful armor you will ever wear in the social realm. Guard it with your life.
For more awesome and inspiring videos like this, please subscribe.